Welcome to another episode of Elections 101 Cameroon, brought to you by Local Youth Corner Cameroon in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education and the National Endowment for Democracy. The need and importance of safety and security is primordial, not just for journalists, but for all stakeholders, especially the youths, and by extension, the general public who are actively involved in the electoral process. What do we do to ensure safety during this process? My name is Emmanuel Yogbate, and I'm excited to be joined in the studio by Lokadia Bongben, a seasoned and award-winning freelance journalist. You're welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, always an honor to have you. I was wondering, what safety concerns do voters typically face during this election process or time?
You know, the election process is really a critical period in the life of any country. And voters or the public generally should feel concerned because safety is not just for a single person, it's everybody's concern.
Sure.
And you know that this period is very sensitive, which means that everybody has to be on the alert. We don't know whatever can happen from anywhere. So as a voter, it will start first of all by making sure you first of all go and get your identification, your card, your voter's card, because you know on elections day, you don't just go out on the road and start moving aimlessly.
Yes.
You need to be identified. You need to have all your card with you, such that if you are going to a polling station, you can show your card because not everybody will just go and be loitering around.
Sure.
So it's a period where, as an individual, moving around, you have to be on the alert because you know it's a time that everybody is trying. There is negative, there is positive.
Sure.
So even for young people, they should avoid late nights. Even now, it's not yet the election day or year or month, but right from this period, I think young persons should avoid keeping late nights, avoid some kind of circles, because people take advantage of elections to do things. So your personal security does not rely on any other person. It's not the police that will come and secure you. So it's individual responsibility. You have to be, very alert when you are moving even on the streets. There are pickpockets. This part of they take advantage of the period because they know, okay, it's a sensitive period and try to do things. So it's a period where each individual has to be conscious, intentional about where they go to, where they don't go to, what they should avoid. You don't just move carelessly now. Yeah, because it's a critical period.
Thank you very much. I think it's crystal clear. During a sensitive period as this one, we need to be very, very careful and cautionary. The way we move about, we don't keep late nights, we don't mingle in unnecessary gatherings, because it's really a sensitive period. So, but what can we do? What do you suggest we can do as a community to ensure a perfect voting environment?
As a community, I know there are opinion leaders in communities. There are, traditional rulers. There are people who, or young people, or the community look up to, as having ideas of or a better knowledge of elections. So they should take charge of educating their communities.
Sure.
You see, because some people don't even know what elections
The
are all
do and
about.
don'ts of the electoral period.
Yes, they don't know what they should do. They don't know where to go, where not to go, what election is, how it's going to happen, how campaigns are going to happen, how people are going to be moving around the area. So it's a time where communities can educate their people, even maybe from traditional rulers. They can help tell their communities, okay, this is election period, and you'll be seeing maybe many faces coming around for campaigns.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the way you should behave to them. Be polite, be welcoming. But they should equally tell them that it's equally a period where people can take advantage, security concerns, make sure you identify people who come to the village, because if you are coming for, let's not say, if they are maybe elecam officials, they should have a badge on them, they should be well
for them to be
dressed.
identified.
Yeah, they can be identified from how they dress. Even with that, even just the dress alone cannot show that they are elecam officials. We know they are fake people moving around everywhere. So they can show a badge to say, okay, we are election officials and this is what. So the communities need to educate their people.
Okay.
Yes,
Just to follow up on
and
that
you know,
question.
as we're talking, like the radios, their local community radios, where they can tell their people in local languages.
Yes, for
Okay,
better
this is
understanding.
for them to understand what's
All right.
happening.
Just to follow up on the question you spoke about, the security agencies. What can law enforcement agencies? What role can they play to maintain the security during electoral processes?
I would say there's no election without law enforcement, because if you allow everybody to do as they want, you know, I would say politics, electioneering, and all that kind of stuff is something people are passionate about.
Yes.
So law enforcement officers have to be there to make sure that people don't just,
Go out of proportion.
go out of proportion or behave anyhow. And that is where they too have to be trained. We need law enforcement officers who have to be trained on human rights. It's not because people are just talking along the street that you arrest them.
Yes.
Yes, they have to be trained on what to do, and they have to be trained on protocols, how, to get people maybe out of safety if there's an emergency. So law enforcement is very crucial. They are the ones that help maybe protect electoral material to some remote areas, especially, maybe in some crisis zones.
Yes.
You cannot just move alone with your material, they'll destroy it on the road. So law enforcement is very essential to make sure electoral material is transported to the communities, to make sure there is peace and order in the communities. But they should equally respect human rights, and
If we do not have the assistance of law enforcement agencies, the whole electoral process can be a charade. I mean, it could prompt an environment of unsafety, and other casualties can happen during that process, because, like you said, it's a passionate period where people are pushing for change. People are intended to change the political atmosphere of their nation. So sometimes, if they're not controlled or preempted by these law enforcement agencies, it can blow out of proportion. Which takes me to my next question: what measures can be taken to address potential threats to electoral integrity?
Potential threats to electoral integrity is to make sure, there have been complaints in the past of people, of polling stations in palaces, in barracks.
Okay.
Those are areas that should not be part of the polling stations.
Okay.
Polling stations should be in open areas where even the population feels safe to go.
Access, yes.
Yes. So first of all these are this is, I can say, the work of the electoral body to make sure that the polling units are in safe and secured areas for everybody to access them easily.
Sure.
So avoid maybe persons' houses. You can't put an individual's house as a polling station. Yeah. So that's one of the things. And then I equally think it's equally for us, for the country, to make sure there are agents who move around the villages, who already know that this is a potential conflict zone, and try to preempt and try to see what they can do before that. So, and then we will also have observers, because we can't do elections without observers. So, and those, when we have observers too, it helps to bring in a confidentiality. Well, let me not say confidentiality. It helps to bring credibility to the elections. Yeah.
True. Credibility is needed for any electoral process. People need to be sure that their votes are secured, and like Locadia said, we need to have observers around those units to ensure integrity and transparency. Thank you very much for coming to the show. And would you have any last words to just say to our televiewers before we take leave?
No, the last word I would say is, We have to be very vigilant, very careful. Young people, we know they like moving in the night. You cannot tell your child, okay, don't move, don't. But they should be very alert. They should know that this is a very sensitive period.
Yeah.
Passions are high. People want their candidates to win.
Yeah.
And there are people of the dark waiting just to do harm.
Sure.
They should avoid certain places. They should keep calm. After the elections and everywhere is calm, they can move around and do whatever they want.
Thank you very much. We should keep calm. We should ensure a peaceful atmosphere, I beg your pardon, before, during, and after the elections. Thank you very much, and see you on the next one. This is Elections 101 Cameroon. Thank you.